Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menashe. This is the weekend edition where we interview notable people from the world of real estate investing. Today is no exception. We have a great guest. Today's show is a conversation I had with Britnie Turner from Nashville, Tennessee. I've known Britnie for close to 10 years now. She's the founder and CEO of the Aerial Development Group. They're one of Nashville's premier single-family home builders. Britnie's an extraordinary individual. She started in the business when she was just 22 years of age. She started rehabbing houses in East Nashville, which was a depressed neighborhood to say the least, and fairly quickly developed a name as being a fantastic volume flipper. Many of the properties she redeveloped were better suited for new construction, so she quickly transitioned into new construction, and today she does in excess of $30 million a year in new construction, all in the Nashville market. But even bigger than being a developer, she's someone with a huge amount of heart. In the aftermath of Hurricane Laura that decimated the Gulf Coast 2 weeks ago, she took it upon herself to bring a team of folks simply to volunteer and help with the relief effort. Britnie is also the founder and CEO of the Aerial Recovery Group, and I'm speaking with her and her Chief of Operations, Jeremy Locke, who's a Green Beret. He's been in the Army for over 20 years, and they led the relief effort in Lake Charles, Louisiana. They're heading back there again this weekend. This is my conversation with Britnie and Jeremy.
Good on as well.
Awesome. Where are you guys right now?
We are in Nashville. We're about to head back down there though.
Awesome.
This weekend. Where are you?
I'm at home in Ottawa, Canada. We're kind of forced to quarantine because if we travel, we've got to spend 14 days crossing the border. So unfortunately, I can't be down in Lake Charles, but my team is down there right now.
Awesome.
That's annoying, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, well, we got lots of video. If you need anything to help with your situation, let us know.
Well, thank you. And likewise, if we can give you, if anything you need, we've got a team down there. There's a Stein's Lumber right next door to our RV park that have lots of supplies. And well, we have 3 projects in town. We're over in Sulphur, and then we've got a couple of projects under construction in Lake Charles.
Cool, great.
Yeah, we did one of our teams was out working in Sulphur over the weekend too.
Cool.
Yeah, well, tell me what the goal with your call is tonight.
Well, among other things, I'm president of the Auto Real Estate Investors Organization, and we have our local meetup this week. And we have a segment at the beginning called Action Takers. And I thought nothing better than to share your story, because if there's anything that personifies action taking, it's what you're doing in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, let's go.
Well, Britnie, you brought down a whole bunch of folks to Lake Charles, Louisiana from Nashville, loaded up a bunch of pickup trucks to just help out people in the community. What was that like?
Absolutely. We took 3 Green Berets, and the rest were our highly trained volunteers. It was a recon trip, so we didn't have quite the level of planning that we normally would, because the news just wasn't showing anything. And even conversations with close family members, they were like, did they really get hit? And I'm like, I think they did. It's very hard to find information online. So we go down there, and the level of devastation is definitely a category 5. Definitely a category 5. But, we can't say that because the way, that's all I'm going to say. There's some government things involved with why we probably can't say that. So it was 1,000 times worse than I imagined. And in some areas, there was 90% complete loss of homes. But without a massive plan and without every single thing being perfect, we knew how to help. And we were able to connect with some people that we could stay with. We slept on the floor in basically a warehouse with no electricity for the 5 days. But we went down there, and it's really easy to find ways to help because so many people need it. I mean, thousands and thousands of people were affected. They're not getting the help they need from FEMA. They're not getting the help they normally would get from NGOs. And so the purpose of our trip was to help as much as we could while we're there, as well as to spread the news. Like, you can make a really big difference. And so if anybody does want to volunteer or get involved, we can either take you on one of our trips or plug you into NGOs that are boots on the ground, making a huge difference, like stretching the resources as far as they possibly can and actually doing a really good job.
That's awesome. Now, you're not a stranger to this. You got involved in Hurricane Irma and in Tortola. How is this different?
Well, Hurricane Irma and Dorian in the Bahamas. Yeah. And so And Jeremy's been a Green Beret and he's been in the military for 20 years now. So he's been around a lot of devastation, different than, natural disasters. But we believe that the template for accelerating recovery is the same, with a couple interchangeable parts, be it a disaster from war, poverty, or hurricane, earthquake, fire. How do you get a community back online? And that's where my real estate people on this call listening in, you really do have a crazy skill set that you may not understand because you're community builders. And so how do you take, a crappy broken house and make it something people believe in again? It's the same concept, just stretch the same recurring things to how do you transform a neighborhood and revitalize it and get it to be an area that people believe in again. And that can be in a just dangerous neighborhood all the way to, a disaster. So it's taken having an online presence and showing people visually that it's changing, because a lot of these areas have been, spoken so poorly of, either from shootings in these neighborhoods that we all work in, or from a disaster. Hey, this area got completely wiped out. So you got to change the online presence, and then you need to change the physical space so that people understand there's a plan for revitalization and there's people taking action. So real estate investors, developers, rehabbers have crazy giftings, and you can apply it to the disaster recovery space a lot easier than you understand. So they need you to go down there, be it your construction skills or just your master planning skills. So back to your question on how did this one rank in the massive disasters I've seen over the last couple of years, it was on par. I mean, Dorian was the most destructive hurricane to ever hit. And this looked very, very, very similar.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between this and, say, Irma and Dorian was the lack of media coverage. So we have contacts on the ground in the Caribbean. I didn't really know anybody down in Lake Charles Louisiana area, so we were kind of relying on what we heard on the media and the news before we went down there and before I could get in touch with any contacts on the ground. So I would say, as far as actually showing up, this is the most surprising one.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting that level of devastation when we got down there, and it was gnarly, to say the least. It was just a crazy amount of devastation.
Wow. Well,
as well as lack of response, because it's not being covered. The response is so low, plus COVID.
Right.
You would be there.
Well, absolutely.
Of course you'd be there.
Absolutely. Now, in our RV park, we've got Encore Energy set up their command post, Entergy, the local power utilities right outside our gate. So the command center for a lot of this rebuilding is happening right outside on our property and outside our property. So we're seeing a lot of it firsthand. Yeah, but you're right. We're not seeing FEMA. We're not seeing a lot of things that we would expect to be seeing at this point.
I found out today that if a community wants FEMA money, they have to put 20% in. And so the minimum just to get FEMA started, this local community has to raise $15 million cash.
Wow.
They don't have that. Just chilling. I mean, everybody, operating from the bare minimum, especially in 2020. And so FEMA has not, you're correct, FEMA has not been able to step in the way that they normally do. And so the community is trying to raise this money and find ways to show this money so that FEMA can step in. The community is trying to raise this money so that FEMA can step in. So
wow.
It's a complicated process. And so I want to speak to all the people who think it's somebody else's job. Oh, there's professionals for that. Or FEMA's taking care of it. This is America. You're wrong. You definitely can help, even if it's just having hands to distribute goods, like unloading trucks. If you're not a skilled worker with a chainsaw or whatever, it's okay. Just be willing to either scoop food or whatever. The volunteers are so exhausted. All the volunteers that we met, besides World Central Kitchen, were locals, and they're so tired. They've got to get back to work. They've got family to take care of. They've got to tarp their own roof. It's pouring rain and lightning every day.
Yep.
So even you just going down for a couple days, as much as you might discount yourself, it would make a difference.
Such a powerful message. Well, Britnie and Jeremy, thanks for sharing this with us. I love what you're doing. We'll continue to follow you on YouTube and social media. And just thank you for everything that you're doing.
We'll be down there Saturday through next Wednesday, and we're taking a team of almost 30 people. So if anybody's looking to get plugged in, if you have resources you want to send down, we have a distribution center. And if you want to get connected with NGOs, if you tell us your skill set, we'll be able to match you with different projects going on. So you can DM us at Aerial Recovery Group on Instagram or at Britnie Turner. And we also have on LouisianaStronger.com, you can apply to be a volunteer. So, and we have a free training course too for disaster management. Anybody who's never gone there and you're nervous, we've got a free 3-hour training. You will know exactly how to respond to the situation, as well as have a grace to deal with people who have been through trauma.
Well, I definitely know some folks out of Lafayette, out of Atlanta, Georgia, that have both the skills and the character to contribute in this way. So I'll definitely reach out to them and get them involved.
Awesome. All right. Well, good to see your face, Victor.
Yeah, likewise.
So glad
Thanks,
we got
Britnie.
to connect under these circumstances.
Yeah, indeed.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you. And you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Wow, what a powerful story. I love what Britnie and Jeremy are doing down there in Lake Charles, Louisiana, as they have done in Tortola during Hurricane Irma and in the Bahamas with Hurricane Dorian. These folks are willing to jump into a disaster situation where there's no water, there's no sewer, there's no infrastructure, no power, and just start helping. And they've done it repeatedly, and they're doing it again. If you want to get involved, you can direct message Britnie at Aerial Recovery Group on Instagram. That's spelled AERIAL Recovery Group. Or you can check out their webpage at laura.usastronger.com, where there's all kinds of information on how you can help out the relief effort. So definitely check out laura.usastronger.com. In the meantime, have an awesome rest of your weekend. Go make some great things happen. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.